All right. I think that's working. Let's get these cameras set up. There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on? We are working on my Finnegans Wake inlay. For anyone who has never seen it before, this is a large chainmail piece I've been working on for far too long, trying to finish it up before I pass away. This is what I'm working off of. That's essentially what it's going to look like. So, how's everybody doing tonight? All right, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com. It's a chainmail themed apparel and accessory website. So I make my designs on the computer, and then we print them on clothes, and we make stuff like this. Actually, I got a sample of something just the other day. Hang on. Where's that? It's a hoodie for a dog. It's even got a little pocket. And a little hole for a leash. So, some of the issues with the sample are, see how the ring sizes don't match? I gotta fix that. Like on the cuffs, the rings on the cuffs are much larger than the ones on the jacket. But anyway, so still working on these. Gonna get some of those up soon. I keep saying I'm gonna get stuff up soon. I need to sit down and just do it. But how can you work on a computer when you can work with your hands and make cool stuff like this? So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's on my website. Cloaks and hooded blankets and giant, what do you call them? They are the word is escaping me right now. They're just the big snug hoodies. That's what they are. Those are cool. All right. So, all right. So yeah. So I make chainmail, and I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. And if you see this and go, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know you could make chainmail at home," and you would like to learn how to make chainmail, in the link tree in my bio is the Mailworks app. It's available on Google and Apple, and essentially it has all the resources I would have wanted when I first got started. And I will be adding more to it as time goes on. Brian, thank you. There are a couple of artists that I need to add. There's a scale mail designer website I need to add. There's a Discord section that I should throw on there. But I went looking for the Discord, and I don't see it in my Discord. I was a part of it, but I cleaned up my Discord a while ago, and I may have left that one for some others, so I don't know. It would be, I didn't get kicked or anything. It would be me just having left, not thinking I would need it, but someone asked about a Discord the other day, and I was like, yeah, there's a chainmail Discord. It's a dyeing art. I mean, okay. If you're not in the community, I could understand how you could think that, right? So, I started making this when I was 14, right? That's 28 years ago. In that time, I was hand making rings. There are now, as of this moment, there are at least 12 chainmail ring manufacturers, hundreds of artists all over the internet, not just on the Mailworks app, but Etsy, people with their own chainmail businesses, right? I would say that it is a art that is having quite the resurgence. Let's see here. There is companies like Neptunic that use chainmail shark suits, right? There is ring manufacturing companies that take on government contracts. So I don't think it's dying. I think it's, like if you're in the community, you get to see all the progress that's being made, right? Oh, Kayla's Kitchen, how you doing? How do you map out your picture pattern? My suggestion is to do it before you start your inlay and spend 20 years not finishing a project. I am freehanding this off of this picture. There's a program, it's called Irregular Grid Painter, and that's what a lot of chainmail artists use. I'm hoping that someone in the chainmail community with the know-how will put together, will basically update the Irregular Grid Painter software and make it so you can like take a picture on your phone, upload it to the software, and it'll map out how many rings you need per pixel and all that. So that's one way. Other people use like crochet stitch or knitting stitch patterns. Some people use graph paper. Some people have printouts of like European 4-in-1 and they'll color in all their pixel or all their rings. There's a couple different techniques, and it is definitely something you should do before you start an inlay. Don't be like me. That's good to hear. You love to see this art form thriving. You just never see it anymore. The communities, okay, the large chainmail group, it's still a small community, right? So you're going to see it at like Renaissance festivals, conventions. Where else would you see it? The movies. That's a given, though. The largest Facebook group, it's called Chainmail, Maille, right? And I think there's 15,000 people in that group last time I checked. Maybe 16,000 at this point. But it's still a small group of people, right? So I look around and I see chainmail everywhere, all day, every day, because I'm friends with them. I follow them. I see them everywhere. But if you're not in the community and you just never stumbled across it, it makes total sense why you would think that it's not around much anymore. Which is why I'm here. You dabble in chainmail jewelry and you want to get into making chainmail for LARP, but you want to learn to inlay pictures. Are you a member of Chainmail Jewelry and More, the group I admin over on Facebook, or the group Chainmail over on Facebook, admin by my buddy Mike? In there's a lot of good resources. Of course, my first suggestion would be to download the Mailworks app in my Linktree. It's available on Google and Apple. And inside of the app is a list of groups and forums where chainmail artists hang out online, basically, right? Chainmailers.com, Chainmail, the Facebook group, Chainmail Jewelry and More, Rivet Mail. There's a couple other groups that I don't know about. If you're in Australia, there's a creator down there named Aussie Mail. It's got a good bunch of YouTube tutorials, and I think they're listed in the tutorials section on my app. And I think I have where are you guys? Yeah, okay, so I just found a manufacturer or someone who sells chainmail supplies in Australia. It's Maille, Maille, orderringsaustralia.com.au. Wait, what am I doing? So I'll be reaching out to them and seeing if I can add them to the Mailworks app. But you buy their rings, you love them. They're aluminum, so lightweight. Yeah, that's what I'm working with right now. But yeah, so that's one manufacturer in Australia. I think there's, or not manufacturer, one ring supplier in Australia, and I think there is at least one more. In the supplier section on the Mailworks app, they're all listed by country, or the country is listed in there. Ice mail's great for rings, so many colors, right on. But yeah, so my advice is biased. Go download the Mailworks app and then go through all the groups, and then you'll find them. Your favorite you've done is Mobius flower. It's so pretty. Right on. I don't know if I've ever done one of those. I don't think so. Alright. Yeah, as far as irregular grid painter goes, if I had the money, I would absolutely throw it at a developer to make a program like that, put it up on a website, and ask for, or just let people know about it. I think the biggest issue is that even if we crowdfunded the development or the upgrade of irregular grid painter, or had something made like that, it would still have to be someone who makes chainmail that did it, so that they know exactly what everyone's asking for. So it's called Irregular Grid Painter, and don't ask me where you can find it, because I don't know. That's one of the things I gotta look up. I think it's on zlosk.com, but I could be very wrong. Thank you, Valhalla. It's coming along. Would you like to see the whole thing? Here. Thank you for the heart. We're getting somewhere with it. One day we might even finish it. One day. Alright, I need to... What goes right there? Green? Alright. Yeah, so I have been working on this inlay since 2005, off and on, and I'm working on finishing up all the projects in my basement so that I can make room for other stuff, newer projects, newer supplies to make better stuff. No, I started this back in 2005. I don't do custom work right now. Once I'm done with all the projects in my basement, which is going to be a while, and when I'm fully set up, right, as in, like, I've got a welder, I want to finish my riveting setup, I want my anodizing setup, and my coiling and cutting setup so that I can make my own rings. So once I have all of that, then I will take custom orders and I will be working on large art pieces. So right now, like, this is technically what I do full time. I do this and I run my website. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. Things like, I was just showing this off. There's a little dog hoodie, right? This is the sample. I've got to fix this issue, right? Where the rings on the edge are bigger than the rings on the rest of the hoodie. But things like this, like hoodies and cloaks and snug hoodies and leggings and cups and stuff like that. Hey Richard, how you doing? I actually, since your username is Valhalla, that I just finished a Veg Vizier inlay that I was going to use on a tapestry, but I don't have enough power in my computer to render it, so that's going to have to wait. I do have a Valnut on a hooded blanket and a couple other items. I was thinking the other day, I was looking up licensing, and apparently I will never be able to license Nintendo products, and Marvel products are going to be way too expensive for me, right? But it would be cool if I could do, like, you know, what do you call it? Little chainmail designs on the computer and then print them on hoodies and stuff. And one day, maybe. Thank you for the share. Appreciate it. Please, yeah, tap the screen, share the live video, likes and shares. Hit the copy link button, as that puts me out in front on the FYP, and it gets other people in here to see what I'm doing. And I just hit like 6,600 some odd followers, right? And I need to get to 10,000, right? I'd like to get to 1 million, but I need to get to 10,000 so that I can use my computer as my primary screen instead of having to look over here at the camera and check comments over here and back and forth. So please like, share, follow along. I do appreciate it. I'm trying to get the placement of the A, K, and the E down here, and I screwed up the A. I'm going to have to move it this way a little more. So, but I think this K is mostly good, I think. Your friend BJ does chainmail on a smaller scale. Thought she might like to see this. Right on. Working on getting another commission. Very cool. Yeah, I'm still getting people. I got two types of comments on. I just had a video hit like 1.8 million or something, right? Which never happens to me. But it's cool, right? Lots of comments, likes, shares, all that stuff. And there were two types of comments. There were people who were asking, oh, you know, can I buy one? Is it for sale? Blah, blah, blah. And then people who were saying they wanted to bite it. They were saying they wanted to bite the jelly cube I had in the video. This kind of thing. I don't know why they wanted to eat this, but it's one of those things that people do, I guess. They bite metal objects. I don't know why that was the theme, but What have I done here? So, Crystal, what kind of things does your friend make? You said it was on a smaller scale. You ain't done with that yet? Come on, chop chop. Yeah, I'm not going to finish this for a while. It's too time consuming and I have too many other things to do. And I'm freehanding it, and without a pattern I have to redo stuff all the time. Bracelets and necklaces, right on. Right on. I make a few of those myself. It's like my motorcycle project is taking priority over this inlay that, even though it's been sitting around for 20 years, still isn't done. So, you don't have IGP? I didn't have anything when I first started this inlay. Like, I don't even... See, I had just gotten a computer when I got back from Iraq in 2005 when I started this, so... And I don't have IGP now. I don't particularly care for it. And I don't make any inlays, really, aside from the ones that I've freehanded already. So... But yeah. What is going on here? Oh, I see what happened. Okay. But yeah, there is Thank you, Alex. Because I don't typically make inlays, I haven't downloaded IGP onto my current computer at all. Well, thank you. Thank you for the share. Trying to make some cool stuff. So... Because I didn't have IGP, and because I didn't do my prep work, pretty much use IGP mostly to keep track and have something to show the customer for progress. Yeah, it's important to do your prep work when you start large projects like this. I didn't, right? And so I ended up ordering rings. I didn't know how many rings to order when I started. I didn't know that rings made in different batches would come out different colors, and so I have a lot of varying greens in this. And what else did I screw up on? I used the wrong ring size, essentially. I'm using European 6-in-1. European 4-in-1 would probably have been easier. I'm using 18 gauge 1/4 inch rings. That's okay, but 18 gauge 5/32 would have been better. So, and it, you know, that was knowledge I lacked 20 years ago. I know that now today. Or I know these things now. So, it is what it is. Oh my goodness. Like, this K is very angled, right? So I gotta fix that. What's going on here? 313. Get rid of this. That's why you want to get an aluminum anodizing setup made for your own use. That's a lot of chemical stuff too close to my house. I'll set up pretty much everything else, but I don't even want to bother trying to set up anodizing aluminum. And the fact that I don't like using aluminum in the first place. Kind of. I will let someone else make the aluminum rings that I need. Year 4 would have been faster. Year 6 one looks a lot better. I don't know. It's okay. I think it's really difficult to make European 6-in-1 look good. Just especially in, well, just because of how, like, in European 4-in-1, if you use the right ring size, the inlays or the rings are pixel per 1 pixel per ring, essentially, right? Whereas in this, each ring is like 2 pixels, and they're vertical pixels, and you know, you end up with a lot of weird corners and weird angles and stuff like that. Good Lord, what have I done here? This is what happens when I'm talking and trying to weave at the same time as I make mistakes. European 8-in-2, do an inlay in European 8-in-2, that would be interesting. I'm not going to challenge myself to do that. I have a hard enough time figuring this out. But so today was pretty much an uneventful day. I've largely worked on this all day. The saddlebag project that I was working on and swore I'd get done by Saturday is sitting over there, and I started working on this on stream last night, and got down here this morning, and I was like, I really want to sit and work on a project, and because I was standing all day yesterday. Yes, I already know European 8-in-2. Or King's Mail, as some people call it, I guess. There are a lot of different names for different weaves. And a lot of them don't make any sense whatsoever. And there's no system to the naming. So, but that's okay. What have I done? I screwed up that. If you go, and one of the resources that a lot of people use and thankfully is still available at this time is called Mail Artisans International League, and it's a dead website in so much that you can't edit it and nothing will ever change on it anymore, but it can still be used as a resource. So, and if you go start looking for weaves, you'll see a bunch of really weirdly named weaves that exist. Or Fool's Trap. What one is Fool's Trap? 8-in-2? Like Byzantine is called Fool's Dilemma. I thought the lawsuit was over and that they did not reach any kind of agreement. I don't know. I don't know anybody who's owns it or is involved, and I don't get updates on anything. I just hear rumors on the wind and kind of piece it together. What's going on? But I knew that they had a lawsuit, or I knew that there was legal issues going on, right? I don't have any idea what they were or anything, but okay, that's all right. So my understanding is that they won't sell it, they won't let it be updated, and it's going to stay the way it is for forever. Josh Giliberto is helping out with it. I mean, it's one of those things where I just hope it ends up in good hands and it returns to being a useful resource for the chainmail community. But also, at the same time, right, that is, other resources have disappeared, and if this one goes away, the chainmail community is busy building other resources, so it would be a huge waste if it was lost, but it won't be the end of the world. Stupid humans and their silly little things, their issues with other people or whatever's going on. I don't know. Chainmail mud flaps for trucks. That's actually not a bad project idea. You could do that. A lot of people come in. What did someone ask me for the other night? Someone asked me for a chainmail holster for their firearm, for their motorcycle, right? And, like, is it the worst project idea I've ever heard? No, but for a holster attached to a motorcycle, you definitely want a level 2 holster. And so basically what I told him was like, level 2 holster with chainmail attached over the top of it. You can attach chainmail over leather pretty easily. Alright, where are we at here? Magenta RV did a few sets. Oh, you did a few sets 20 years ago. I imagine it would hold up pretty well. You'd want like a rod across the top and a rod across the bottom to hold it straight. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Okay. I think. No? Okay. Am I... I'm close to being finished with this, but not bad. Stainless steel customer had to use 12 gauge stainless steel wire for shape. Yeah. That is what I would use. Something heavy duty. It's like a rock doesn't knock it out of place. Suppose you could also use like a wire frame. Come on. What was it? There was something someone else asked me about something. Another project. I'm trying to think of what it was, but people come up with very interesting ideas of stuff to make. And some of it I do legitimately think is doable. You know, you can make something out of chainmail that will last a long time. And then some people come up with ideas of stuff, and I think, oh, no, don't do that. But who am I to tell anyone what to do? Follow your heart. There's going to be a ton of, okay. When you ride through, like, the rain and that water gets up all over your bike, okay, the bottom of your bike is a pain in the butt to clean, for starters. I don't want to get down there and try and clean chainmail and make it shiny. It's I don't even know how you would do it, right? Okay, I don't care for this song, so one day I will find the thumbs down button and then I'll never hear it again. So I have, okay, on the front of my bike, I have a gremlin bell attached to the front highway bar, right? The gremlin bell, it's, you know, I don't know how high quality the metal is, but it's like gray and kind of ugly looking at this point now. It started out all shiny a long time ago. So my concern would be that if I put chainmail all over that area, that the chainmail would turn all dull gray and gross, and I would have to try and get that clean. And that does not... That sounds like a chore that I don't want. So I'm just going to keep the chainmail to the top half of the bike, and hopefully it looks good. And as of right now, I've got the one saddlebag done, and then the second saddlebag is, I don't know, partially completed at this point. All the chainmail and the leather work is done. I just gotta finish lacing it all together. So that'll be a good project to finish. I'm trying to get the saddlebags done before it starts warming up, because I want to get them on the bike and go ride once it gets warm. And then once that is done, then I'll worry about the toolkit and the gas tank, which I can do. I just got to size the leather for the gas tank. Get it shaped to size, and then I can wrap that here in the basement, put it on the bike when I'm done, right? So if I go riding without saddlebags, that'll look weird. But if I go riding without a gas tank bib that I haven't made, that's, you know, much more normal, right? Like, that sounds right. I'm not just telling myself this. It's too cold to ride right now anyway, and it's supposed to snow tomorrow, and it's fine. frozen? What's going on here? What in the world? Weird. Okay. What on earth just happened? I can't. Oh. Is that the issue? Okay. I minimize. Okay. I accidentally. So I've got my what is that program called? Streamlabs set up on my computer, so I can see comments from Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch. And then to the right of that, I have the internet, Chrome pulled up, and I've got Streamlabs over the Chrome page, but I can see all the comments on TikTok from there because I can't read them from here. So, but what happened was I accidentally minimized the Chrome page, so it only took up half, and it looked like I had tore my Streamlabs apart, but it's all better now. That is two more. That'll look right. Be a very nice looking, rabbity looking K. Okay. And then once the K is signed kind of in place, I got the A and the E and a W, and then all the scroll work behind it and getting all that looking good, and then filling out all the green. And, I make it sound all so simple, but I've done just this section today, really, right? Just this from here to here, right? So... And even then, once I'm done, once I've laid down the material, because I'm freehanding it, and I didn't use the irregular grid painter program or another stitching program to lay out, that maps out the whole project, because I didn't do that, I'm stuck freehanding. I get some material down, and then I have to go back and check placement and everything, and it's a whole ordeal. But I think that's going to work. All right. Now, once upon a time, I was stationed at Fort Polk, Louisiana. And this is, Finnegans Wake is the bar I would drive to in Alexandria. It's about an hour away. And we used to get a couple people together, drive out there. We'd go to dinner because the Alexandria had a lot nicer restaurants than Leesville, Louisiana had when I was there 20 years ago. Things may have changed. And then we'd go catch a movie, then we'd go to the bar, or go to the mall, then go to the bar, and then stay in the hotel across the street, and... It was nice, it was quiet, it was far away from the barracks, and yeah. It was called Finnegans Wake. And it's actually a book. I've never read the book, but every time I would wear the t-shirt that said Finnegans Wake on it with this design on it, someone would inevitably go, "Oh, I've read that book." I'd be like, I never have. It's a bar. Or it was a bar. They're closed now, so... I don't know what happened, but they are not there anymore. It's hard to think that it would become anything else other than a bar unless someone bought the building and rented out the space and it was all gutted, because there's like a full bar in there, you know, with nice wood carved columns and fond memories. Apparently there's elephants running around upstairs. That's always fun. But yeah, it was a nice place to get to after deployment. I was only in Fort Polk for about a year after. Alright, you secured another commission? Right on. Congratulations. Hope everything works out good for you and your customer. I'm still debating on what I'm going to do. So I've got this cube here, and I've got 3 more pounds of this ring size coming, which should give me enough to make a 15 by 15 by 15 row cube, right? So I think I can make a bunch of these and try and sell them. This size, this is 7 by 7 by 7. Or I can make one large one and raffle it off. Or I could keep it. I could make one large one and keep it, right? I don't have to sell it. I don't have to sell these. I could. So I'm torn. Where is this coming down from? What line is this? Is this one? What is this song? Whatever this is. We'll skip that one. It's like, I don't mind, you know, it's pretzel rock. It's free, or it's not free. It's, what do you call it? It's not, it's copyright free, right? So I have Streamlabs. I use pretzel rock, copyright free music, because I stream to multiple platforms, right? I don't want to get copyright strikes. So I just let it play whatever. I don't know. This is also supposed to be mostly a family-friendly channel. I don't want to listen to a song all about what this guy's girl will do to him. That's weird. I'm going to come back and fix this later. Not right now, anyway. Because this line, this is the line, right? Comes down here, goes here, and then boop, moves all the way over here. What happened there? What happened? So I need to adjust. I probably need to adjust this down here and this over here a little bit more so it lines up. Anyway, we're not worried about that. We're going to finish this K. So you're working on a 9 by 9 by 9? Right on. This is a gold ring. I don't need a 15 by 15 by 15 out of these, right? Because I've got more rings for this. This is already 14 by 14 by 14, right? And I ordered more rings for this, so I'm trying to get it to 20 by 20 by 20, right? And so this is my big cube project. I don't need another one. But then also, I could have another one, you know? You messed up last road. Just a quick fix. Was tired last night. Yeah, that'll happen, especially, I don't know, there's been so many times when I've made mistakes. Just not being tired, just in general. Like, my whole life. I'm just kidding. Most of my life was not a mistake. Sometimes, though, not gonna lie. Your eyes were crossed by the time you stopped last night? Yeah, when I get to nystagmus, where the eyes shake as I'm trying to weave something, that's when I'm like, okay, it's time to shut it down. Been working full time and then doing commission work. What is this going to be? Hang on a second, and I will, let me secure this ring real quick, and I will show you. This is my largest to date chainmail inlay, and it's got some Celtic themed knotwork in the background. It's going to have the words Finnegans Wake across it. And when I'm done, I'm going to hang it up on my wall. It'll be sick if I ever manage to finish it. I've been working on this off and on for like 20 years. And yeah, I'd really like to get it done. No, I don't make custom stuff. Okay. In about a year, I'll make custom stuff. More than likely. Hopefully. But as of right now, I am desperately trying to finish up all these random projects in my basement that I either didn't have the time, money, or inclination to finish. So once I'm done with that and I got some more tools for my setup, then I'll be taking custom orders. And right now, if you want something custom made, okay, there is the Mailworks app in my link tree. It's available on Google and Apple. And if you download that and go to the artists section, there's a whole section of artists that take custom orders, and they have stuff already made for sale, most of them. So I've got, that still goes down this way, right? Okay. Yeah, and Richard in the comments there makes custom stuff, so. There's a whole bunch of creators on every platform that make custom stuff. Oh, verify to continue. Hang on. Hang on, Don't kill my stream just yet. That happened to me last night. I had to like open up a whole new stream. Which is fine. It worked out just fine. I've had issues with streaming to where my service down here in the basement was just so bad that it kept dropping and blah blah blah. But the setup I have now seems to work for the most part. Yeah, if you tap the screen and hit the copy link button, and I don't know, like I mentioned before, I don't know if it's been an hour since I got on and that's TikTok's way of checking if I'm still active, or I don't know if tapping the screen even helps. What I'm working on right now, I largely know what I'm doing with this. When it comes to social media or websites or any of the other stuff I do outside of making chainmail, like I'm a pretty good dad and I make chainmail pretty well. And outside of that, that's it. That's all I got, man. I don't know how anything else works. I'm tired of I'm tired of having to learn stuff. What was I looking into the other day? Oh, yeah, 3D printing. It does. It shows TikTok someone's still watching. Right on. So, I was talking with someone the other day about getting an Ender 3. And the reason I hadn't gotten an Ender 3 or looked into one is because I like the bamboo so much better. And the bamboo has the multicolor option, which if I do anything with it, I want the easiest to set up, plug in, and boom, go, you're ready to go, right? So, but I was thinking, once I get the, what do you call it? The 3D printer, then I'm going to have to learn how to run it. So that's another thing I get to learn. Beat it horse, how you doing? How long did this take me to learn? I've been doing this for 28 years. The first couple of weaves that I learned were fairly quick. So European 4-in-1, European 6-in-1, Byzantine, full Persian, half Persian 4-in-1, half Persian 3-in-1. All those are fairly beginnerish weaves. And you can learn those in a couple of hours. So, if you want to learn, right, there are a ton of resources listed in the Mailworks app in my link tree. Tutorials, where to get rings, where to find other chainmail artists, and just all sorts of fun stuff. But the learning curve for chainmail, it's like this when it starts out. Okay? It's fairly steep. And then after a couple hours, couple days, couple weeks, right, that steepness levels off real fast. So, getting the basics down, learning how to manipulate your pliers, using your pliers to manipulate the rings, all that's just practice, but the basics, and then getting to a point where you're doing, I don't know, do I have something cool? Not nearby. Right? So, let's see here. 1, 2. You could start making chainmail and learn how to do those 3 things within a day or two. Hope that helps. Hope that makes sense. Hope I'm not rambling like a madman. Okay. But yeah, back to 3D printers. So I was talking to someone on here on Facebook or on TikTok, and they were convincing me that I should go find a cheap Ender 3. And I was like, yeah, that's, I didn't know you could get in the game for so cheaply. You love old stuff. Not that it's old that I'm making, but old trades. Yeah, like making chainmail or blacksmithing or leatherworking or napping or woodcraft, you know, carpentry with hand tools. You mean all that dope, awesome stuff that our ancestors used to do? Yeah. I love that stuff too. The only one I'm good at is chainmail though. So, I do a little bit of leather work. I'm not very good, truth be told. And a little bit of carpentry. Once again, not very good. But I have made some stuff with it, right? Once I get all of my chainmail station set up, like I got a welding station, I'm gonna have an area to anodize, a setup for anodizing. I got the setup for welding. I need to finish completing my setup for riveting, and then I need anodizing, welding, riveting, coiling, cutting, so I can make my own rings. Right. Once I get all that set up, then I will focus on forge and anvil in the backyard because my kid wants to do that stuff. And so now that he's involved, it's like, okay, I can rationalize going and dumping a bunch of money into that hobby. Working on cars, you can stand in the engine compartment. Yes. I have had 2 International Scout 2s. And before that, I drove tiny little coffins on wheels, like Ford Fiestas and Geo Metros when I was first had a car. And there's plenty of room to work on the engine in a Geo Metro or a Ford Fiesta, and there's a ton of room inside the engine bay of an International Scout 2, right? So the way they make cars now, I don't work on cars anymore just because I don't know enough really to begin with. I know enough to get myself in trouble. So it's one of those, I've got to watch 10,000 YouTube videos to figure something out. But once I went from like an older, anything after the 90s, I stopped working on cars. I was like, there's too many vacuum hoses and too many computers and too much of this nonsense and that. I was like, there's no way. I would have to go to school. I'd have to go learn me something. And then half the time, like, I have a decent set of tools, but I do not have all the tools in the world, especially for working on cars. Used to be an A&C master mechanic. You have been out of the field for over 30 years. Yeah, I used to be a nurse, and I've been out of the field for 2 years now. Once upon a time. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Alright, I think we're going to be able to call this K finished here. I'll still have some more shaping to do, but the rough outline of this is kind of there. It's like I'll do the A and the E and then come back and do this. Your son's now following in your footsteps. My brother-in-law is a mechanic. I take my truck to him all the time for... Uh-oh. I went too low on this. His son has been going to college for the last couple years, working on becoming a physicist or an accountant. I'm not sure which. And he's a very smart kid, right? But every summer, and right now, he's home. So when he's not at school, he's working for his dad. And so something goes out wrong with my truck. Like, I just had to have the timing chain changed out after 140,000 miles. And So I go there, visit my brother-in-law, drop my truck off, see my nephew. He's like 25, but he's sitting there suffering. Just a big old nerdy kid in his dad's garage. You've been teaching your son since he was 9. He's now 24. Right on. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not qualified to work on vehicles. So what little I do know, if I'm doing it and my son is around, I show him. But most of the stuff, right, like changing a timing chain, I couldn't do that in my house. I couldn't even do that in a garage with a lift because I have no idea how. So I will teach him other things that I know, and then I will send him to his uncle to learn mechanics. I told him that's an interesting thing. I told him is like, because he's still pretty young, but it's like you are going to graduate high school and learn some kind of trade, like electrician, welding, carpentry, something. Okay, pipe fitting, I don't care what. And then after you finish that trade school, then if you want to go to college, you can. And mommy and daddy will help pay for it, but you will have a skill of some kind. And then you can, then you can go to college and do whatever you want. Because my parents did not set me up. Not that they didn't love me, right? Don't let me give the wrong impression, but none of us kids grew up with any plans on going to college, right? So now I have a college degree, which is it's worthless now, but we could take it apart and put it back together. Yeah. Well, he's got a go-kart that kind of had to, fart around with that thing because the clutch sticks if you drive it too much. So you gotta pull off the case and then lube up the axle, and then, lube up the clutch and then put it back together. So that's not, serious wrenching on a vehicle, but it's about suitable for his age. All right. Look at that. Just look at it. All right. For those of you who can't see what I've just done, it's that K down at the bottom. Right? It's not quite shaped correctly. I am going to have to make some adjustments. But it's definitely a K. All right. In whatever fonts they use to do the original design for this, so. Here's an area I can focus on mindlessly for a couple of minutes. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Working on a go-kart is about all I'm qualified to do, right? Something every dad should know how to do. My dad definitely would have known how to do it. It's not really all that hard. But I've had 2 International Scout 2s. One ran, the other one didn't. I'd like to have like $75,000 so I could pay someone to retrofit an International. The Bronco is about the new Bronco is about the closest thing. Closest modern vehicle to a International. So I would get one of those, but for a vehicle that size, they really need solid axles. So to do like a Dana axle swap on a Bronco, it's like I could go buy a new Bronco and put solid axle, get a solid axle conversion kit, pay someone to do it if I had the money. But the other issue with those, it's like the Broncos have what is it, a 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, which I've got an EcoBoost in my Ford, and it's been fine, except for that timing chain the other day. They cost me what, $3,200, something like that. So like if I were to buy a Bronco, I'd want to convert the axles to solid axle. I would want to put a larger engine in it. So it's like at that point, you know, is it worth it? I screwed this up. I wasn't paying attention and I screwed this up. Dang it, Bobby. Axles are easy. Yeah, if you know it, that's the thing. So you can say it's easy all day long. If you know what you're doing, it's easy. I have to pay people to do it. So yeah, you're right. It's easy. I just have to get the money to do it. Which there was an interesting thing. It's like, this is my full-time job, right? I make chainmail, okay? I design and sell chainmail-themed apparel and accessories. But I was sitting here the other day, like, man, you know, I'm kind of getting bored just sitting here doing this, and I love what I do, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, let's see if the local Harley shop is hiring. So send my resume into them. I haven't heard back. I don't have any sales experience. I've been a nurse for 20 years now. So I don't think I'll hear back from them, but on the off chance that they give me a call back, you know, worst thing they can do is say no, right? Is anodized titanium as durable as stainless? How do you get different colors? So, no, it's not. The anodization, titanium is anodized electrically, right? You put it in some, I want to say bicarbonated water. It's distilled water with, I think you can put salt or baking soda in there. And you run a current through it, and different voltages will get you different colors, right? Don't quote me. I don't have an anodizer. I just remember watching someone do it. Titanium by itself would be as durable as stainless. Do you need a pulse welder for an 8x10 gauge, 8 to 10 gauge stainless to weld it, or for 8 to 10 gauge stainless steel, you could use your MIG. If you tried to use a pulse welder, it wouldn't do anything. You go zip. At least mine would. Mine is for like 18 gauge and smaller. If I'm lucky, I can do 16 gauge. Your son put an axle on a Cavalier, cost us $70. I think how much does a Dana 40 axle cost? Because I think they're like $400. Dana 44. Images. Shopping. Hang on. What the fuck? Use one $750. Okay. 1,000. 10,000. That's not right. Alright, I would have to find the specific one I'm looking for, but just buying the axle in itself would be more than $70. There, now all of that is better. Anyway. Yeah, so if you took anodized titanium and put them on a mud flap, the color would get dingy pretty quickly. Just because I'm using anodized aluminum for an inlay. I don't like using anodized aluminum for much, just because the more you move it, the more the color comes off. And it's just a fact of life, right? So an inlay that's going to hang on the wall isn't going to move much once I'm done. The mud flap with the anodized rings would just rub the color off, right? So I would do stainless steel. I mean, and you don't have to. This is just my advice. You can do whatever you want. Make some badass anodized titanium mud flaps and tell me to kick rocks. I just wouldn't do it for those reasons. But it would be cool. All right. Thank you for the share. Yours is a CV axle? Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm just saying, like buying a new Bronco and then converting it to what I want with a larger, more powerful engine, right? That's why I don't go out and buy a Bronco. I would just rather do that to a 72 through 79 Scout 2. One day. Got a couple buddies that retrofit them pretty good. You missed what I just said? So, anodized titanium on a mud flap would rub the color off. Right? Anodizing titanium is an electric process, whereas anodizing aluminum is a chemical process. Or chemical and electrical. So you can anodize titanium at home. And it's just some distilled water with some electrolytes in it that you run a current through the metal, right? So there's more in-depth videos of it than that, but because anodization is not a permanent fix, it will rub off on titanium or aluminum or any other material. So I would not personally use it for a mud flap for that reason, because you'll just end up losing the color at some point. It would look cool, and you can do whatever you want. That 8 to 10 gauge stainless steel would probably make a pretty dope mud flap. Used to have a 67 SS 396 Chevelle. Did a body off restoration. You missed that car. My father is from that era, and the cars that he tells me he had, he had a Chevelle, he had a Nova, he had, I don't know what else. Him and his brothers had a couple different cars, and they just sold them. You know, they didn't know that one day they'd be $100,000 collector cars. Oh, excuse me. All right. Now that I botched that and then fixed it, and I don't know what year it is. I think it's a 67 something. It's a 67 Mustang that my brother-in-law has. And he's got, what is his other car? I don't remember right now. He's got another car that it was originally his, then he sold it to his brother. His brother sold it to a friend. His friend sold it to his dad. Then his dad gave it back to him when he passed. And like the car never moved from the garage, but who owned it changed hands. The one you sold did resold for $115. Nice. You're debating doing the family crest. You probably do it later as a door curtain from aluminum. Later, yeah. That is what I would do. Okay, this is just my opinion. I don't like using anodized aluminum for anything other than static pieces. Anodized titanium, kind of for the same thing. I'll be a little more, what's the word? I'll make like some jewelry with anodized titanium. But anodized aluminum, it makes pretty costume jewelry. But the anodization can come off from the rubbing. It can come off from exposure to the sun. It can come off from the chemicals in your skin, right? And so when I work on stuff, I want it to last for as long as possible. So I'm going to make inlays out of anodized aluminum. And I will make jewelry and other chainmail items out of other materials. And that is just my opinion. Not gospel for anyone, just that's the way I think about it. So, have I done it? Yeah. I've used aluminum on non-static pieces. But moving forward, I don't really want to be using aluminum at all. So, I'm trying to use up what I have for the projects that I have. So... yeah, if you do as a door curtain kind of dealio, that'd be cool. This isn't my family crest or anything, but I just plan on hanging it up. Alright, so we got a little bit farther than we were last night. That K is pretty much done. And, let me change the view over here. We are making some decent progress, right? It's looking much more like the picture with every little adjustment. So I have plenty of those to do. If you clear coat it with ceramic like Cerakote. So coating anything with coating chainmail with anything, right? Whether you like tried to chrome a piece of chainmail or tried to plate it. Excuse me. Whether you do any of those things, right? When you spray on the Cerakote or dip it in the chrome or whatever coating you're going to use, the issue is that where the rings connect, you're going to miss those spots, and eventually the coating's just going to rub off. That's just the nature of chainmail. So, I mean, you can do it, but it's why you don't see like powder coated chainmail or chromed chainmail, which would be pretty cool. You've been feeling the same? You love stainless steel, niobium, titanium? Yeah. Going forward, once I'm done cleaning up all my crap down here in the basement, it's stainless, sterling, or argentium, silver, titanium to anodize for colors and stuff if I need them, and gold. And those are really the only colors the only materials I'm gonna work with, right? I'm done with brass and bronze, and I don't want to use aluminum. Galvanized steel is out. So it's like each material has their place, and you can do different things with different ones. So you're wondering how much dissimilar metals like aluminum, copper, brass would react? You don't know if you want to mess with gold? That shit is pricey. Yeah, I hear ya. That's why I want a coiling and cutting setup so I can make my own rings. I don't. What is it called? It's like tubes of gold filled with copper, and they coil and cut it into rings. Gold fill, right? I know some people work with that, and that's not as bad. But for the art pieces that I plan on doing, I'm going to need to work with precious metals and all that fun stuff, higher end materials. So, and like I got the thoughts in my head of what I want to do. Now I got to put plier to ring and weave it together. So, anyway, it is 10 o'clock here. I do have to go to bed and get up tomorrow. So, thank you for hanging out. If you want to learn more about chainmail, you're interested in getting started, please go to the link tree in my bio and check out the Mailworks app. It's available on both Apple and Google. It is free. It is all the resources I would have wanted when I first got started. And then some, and a lot more I didn't know. And we have more resources coming for the app as soon as I get off my butt and focus on doing that portion of my work. If you are interested in supporting me so that I can continue to do this, please go to mailworks.com, where I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. And right now I'm working on some little dog hoodies, right? But this is a sample that the edge, the rings on the edge are larger than the rings on the hoodie, so I gotta fix that. But we will start working on some little dog hoodies. I'm gonna get some for my dogs. My dogs are assholes, and I don't like them. But one is a corgi and one is a Chihuahua beagle cat thing, and so I'm gonna order some of those as soon as I get them mocked up and designed, and then also there's gonna be more stuff, more clothing stuff coming, so more designs. Once I get done with some of these bigger projects, I'll sit down and knock out a bunch of designs. I got a bunch of ideas that I gotta make. The issue is that making chainmail, whether it's by hand or whether it's on the computer or whether you 3D print it, it is time consuming. So it's coming. Please go to mailworks.com and get yourself a giant snug hoodie. It's the perfect item. The app is awesome. Thank you. It's going to be awesome whatever I make. I hope so. Like I've got I wouldn't call them like undercover projects. They're just like projects I've never worked on stream, really. Maybe once or twice, right? That haven't had a lot of progression, but once they're done, oh, it's going to be nuts. If I can pull it off. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, go check out mailworks.com, download the Mailworks app, get started making chainmail. It's loads of fun. I've got to get going. You all have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you all later. Bye.